Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another week of conversations with the Masterful Raconteur. Oh man, this week is I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about today, but there's just no way that I can not recap of this last week. One of the most special times in my life. You know, and I've had a few times that were extraordinarily special. This last week was really, really, really special. And for those of you who don't know, man, and I was awarded the Outstanding Creative Artist Award at the 45th Annual Fifth Avenue Arts Festival in Gainesville, Florida, which is my hometown. It's where I was born and raised. This award is so nice. I mean, the quality of it, pure glass, it's heavy, it's solid. And once again, I want to thank the Cultural Arts Coalition, um, the founder, executive director, the wonderful Miss Nkwanda Ja, um, all of her staff, and I have to mention her daughter, Pamela Michelle Stevens, um, the whole organization for the Cultural Arts Coalition. Um, they just really, really made me feel like $1 million times $1 million times $10 million because to have hit the ground running like I did in 1984 when I moved back to Gainesville from Jacksonville. At that time, uh, I don't know, that was maybe the second time that I had left Jacksonville and came back to Gainesville. Second or third time, I know I went back one more time, but anyway, that's another story. I had came back. I was living in Jacksonville, and I literally planned out everything that I wanted to do uh, because I had established myself as a hairstylist, at that time, and I needed to start from the ground floor, start coming up. So I put together this plan, and um, after working in Jacksonville, and I just didn't have enough clientele, I decided to come back to Gainesville and start from scratch. And I hit the ground running, and that was in 1984. And so um, I started off doing live events, totally green. I had been exposed to live events because in '79, when I first started playing in bands, of course, somebody else was producing and making all of that stuff happen. And I was just in the band as a musician. So maybe get my mic over here where you can hear me better. At least have my audio right. So I had studied the game in 79 and early 80s, leading into the 80s. So when I got back home in 84, like I said, I was green, but I had a plan, I had a vision, and I had determination. So I started doing multiple things from artwork to music, hair, makeup, fashion, working as a stylist. And I put this whole concept together. And here I am today. I went from doing fashion shows and I was always playing in bands off and on. And then I would start DJing also, and so I'm just doing all of these things, and finally I found myself um, doing stage plays. I first started writing movies, and when the phone wasn't ringing, I decided I would do stage plays because that way I didn't have to sit around and wait for the phone to ring. So I was just literally proactive, you know, and I walked in it, I slept in it, I fantasized in it, I dreamed it, the whole mile, the whole full spectrum. I jumped in and I stayed in, and I'm still here. So to have somebody to notice the stuff that I started doing way back then, all the way up to now, which I would eventually, like I said, I would go from film to stage plays, and then now I'm back to film, and I still got two or three other stage plays I want to do. But I got this movie thing going now, and it's been really, really exciting and really rewarding on some very important levels. So I had to say all of that to say that when I um, appreciate this award, I have to appreciate all the people that was aboard this ark of mine. I say ark because I was like Noah. You know, I built this ark, and it turned into the Right Side of Me Productions. And with this ark, I let so many people come aboard with me, talented people. And so this award, you know, I got it because of my collaboration with other talented people. Now, the other combination to that is you can have um, you can have this production, you can have people in your production, but if you don't have a support system to all of that, then you just have that. So the community supported us. Some really, really wonderful people supported me and believed in me and entrusted their time, many times their families, friends, their money. They trusted me and gave me an opportunity to entertain them in all of these different capacities. And this award confirms that I did not disappoint. And I'm really, really, really proud and thankful for that. You know, there was a point in time where um, I got so exhausted, I got frustrated, and I started second guessing myself. I started maybe over critiquing everything, starting with myself. And I found myself getting exhausted in a way that I knew deep in my soul it was nothing that would make me quit. But sometimes I was stagnated, you know, sometimes I was just to a point where I don't know if I want to keep doing this, but I know I want to keep doing it because I have not finished my race with this. But this is just getting to be so stressful sometimes because in this journey, you know, I have given like 100% of me, and um, everybody that's been aboard with me was not always 100%. There were a lot of people that were just coming aboard for the fun of it, for the fantasy of it. And I was always so dedicated and committed that I was always looking at the big picture. So here and there would be some people who I felt like they really, and when it comes to the arts and entertainment field, there were a few people who really, really wanted that to be a big part of their future, or some of them, they're all in all in terms of their future. So it was always that kind of a shuffle and balance type of a task that I had to try to capitalize off of whoever was aboard. But I come to learn that, and I always like to use the city bus theory, as I would call it. There's always somebody that's, you get on the bus and somebody's going to get off the bus a mile down the road. Somebody else is going to get off the bus 3, 4 miles down the road. Somebody else is going to get off the bus 7 miles down the road, whatever. Very few people are going to be on the bus from the beginning point all the way to the longest point. And so then I had to start uh, developing and training myself to look at things like that so that I didn't let myself be so disappointed sometimes. And I can remember, having things happen that I was so excited about, like good things that I was so excited about. Like, for example, I remember when I had got my first, I submitted an episode of a comedy sitcom that I did, and to a film festival. And during that particular time, I was very, very frustrated and exhausted with working with different people, and feeling unappreciated, and feeling like I didn't know how much more I could give to it. But I pushed, and I decided I was going to make that happen. And I was looking at it at that time like, this might be the last thing that I do. And I knew I didn't mean it, but I tried to mean it. And so when I did it and I submitted it to a film festival, I was so happy that it made semifinalists. I had never had an experience like that, so that was a big deal to me. Out in LA, the Indie Film Festival. It's a festival for independent artists, and it was a short film festival. And so I can remember when uh, I got the certificate and I shared it with the cast of that production. And even as I speak, you know, nobody in the cast even acknowledged it. And I was like, man, look, I'm doing all of this. I'm tired. I'm tired. It made me feel bad. It hurt my feelings because I thought everybody would be like excited, like, oh, look what we did. And nobody responded. It was like nobody cared. And then I said, you know what? I don't know how much more of this I can do. I'm tired of believing in people and taking all of my little resources and putting it into a production and giving it 100%. And looks like I'm the only one that really cares about it. So I went through that, and then later on, I got back in the saddle, and I did a short film, and I submitted it to a festival, and it got screened out in LA in the Golden State Film Festival. And I got excited again. I'm like, okay, people are noticing me. You never know what's going to happen, back. Da, 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 da. And when I shared the news with the actors in that, it was like the same thing. It was just not even a response. It wasn't even a woo, yay, nothing. And I was like, so I started to really, really get stubborn, really, really get stubborn. And I had people in my ear saying stuff like, Barry, you know what? You need to focus on you. Stop worrying about other people. Just be about you. Work on your goals. And the fact is, I always tell people Superman is fiction. And you can't do all of this stuff by yourself, right? So now I'm trying to come up with this extra mindset and energy to go forward because I've gotten, even though but at this point, I've done a lot of different plays and different things, and I'm happy that I can say I've done those things. I was not satisfied, you know. There was something in me that still wanted to accomplish certain things, and I was not satisfied. And there I was in this space now where I'm starting to really give up on people. And what made that so tricky because at that time I had began the process of trying to be more specific and more strategic and wiser, what I felt like, in terms of who I'm selecting to come aboard with me. And so in that space, I'm starting to talk to myself and say, yeah, Barry, just don't worry about them. Just do you, give them the opportunity, just do you, and don't worry about what they feel and what they think. You just stay focused on your goals and your agenda, and you know, and just kind of look at it like that. I was always off balance with that kind of thing because I was, by nature, I'm not a person that don't care about other people. By nature, I'm a person that I tend to care about other people, and I'm always trying to help people. So I'm just in this tug of war, and I feel like I'm too close to being borderline quitting, right? So a lot of times I look at things sort of like my favorite poem, Footprints in the Sand, because when it comes to this, even though when it comes to some of my personal challenges, where I can remember some of my most difficult times was when the doctors were saying certain things and had my brain and my spirit and everything all jacked up, and I'm trying to push my way through all of this stuff and still trying to keep the dream alive and the goal alive. And I'm just, all of these different things, it's going on in my mind and in my spirit, and I'm wrestling with it. And so I'm finding myself still going from one production to another production. So, it's true if you stay the course, if you don't let people discourage you, if you don't let other people's shortcomings and their failures impact you to cause you to give up on what you're doing. you know, I've always understood that. I was always bullheaded when it came to that. I was always this guy that, okay, if you don't want to go, fine, you stay here. I'm going, you know. And that kind of bullheadedness has gotten me to where I am today, where I have done all the stuff I've done. I've owned and operated several small businesses, and all while I'm working these different jobs, the talents and stuff that God gave me, I'm doing literally all of them like simultaneously. And people ask me like, "How do you do all of this stuff, Barry?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just do it." And I know that if I had ever given up, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking this conversation that I'm talking. There was a time when I would hesitate to even talk on this kind of level because I was just trying to avoid somebody saying, "Oh, he think he all this and he think he all that." But now I'm walking in mine. I don't care what you think. In fact, at the reception when I was receiving this fine award, man, I'm so proud of this. When I was receiving this reward, after it was right after the reception was over, and we were all they fed everybody some nice food, some good food, and I was greeting people. People were greeting me. We were hugging. We were shaking hands and this and that. And there's this lady that comes up to me that I know. I don't see her very often, and we don't travel in the same circles or anything like that. But she walked up to me and she said, "Hey, Barry, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you." She said, "Well, I had to come here for you." I said, "Oh, wow, thank you." I can say, I don't think I need two hands to count how many times I've ever seen this woman. But I know that there was a situation how I met her. She reminded me that night, she said that she was going through something at her establishment and she was crying. And I sat down and I talked with her and I helped her to feel better at that time. I honestly don't remember that, but she said it happened. But how she led into that, what she said first before she said that, she said, "Barry, they say they don't like you, but I don't care about that. You was nice to me. You was good to me." And I'm looking at her like, I don't even know. I won't even want to respond to that. They say they don't like me. But the reason why I bring that up is because there's been a lot of people who have made for my hate club from the very beginning. I have pushed through all of that. I've pushed through all of that. And there ain't no doubt there's probably somebody watching this right now that they like being a fly on the wall, you know, in my social media. And it ain't crazy about me at all. But they're nosy, you know. And that's okay too. They can unfriend me, unfollow me anytime they get ready. But in this journey, you just come across all of this kind of stuff. So what I started getting real good at, especially in the last 10 years, I said, Barry, you got to focus on the people that are positive to you, the people um, that support you, the people that you feel that they are genuine in the encouragement and the inspiration that they give to you and the words that they say to you. You got to focus on those people and don't even allow yourself to get caught up with these other folks who are fake and all that other negative stuff. So when you in the pilot seat and you're navigating the ark that you built and you've let all of these different people come aboard your ark, and you got to make sure that the ark stays afloat. You got to make sure that you're paying attention to what the weather forecast is saying. You got to pay attention to all the different dynamics of what can go wrong. And then you have to cover and compensate for all of these different people. That's what leadership is all about. And I'm so thankful that somebody acknowledged uh, me, because I did question if something like this would ever happen. Um, I never looked for it, but I'd be lying if I said that I never watched the awards on television out in Hollywood and the NAACP awards, and I never fantasized about what it would it be like for me to uh, do something that put me in a position where I could receive that kind of recognition or attention, or just to be able to have that many people to be aware of me and know of my work and enjoy my work and appreciate it to the point that I could be considered for something like that. Yes, I have fantasized about that, but I've never really allowed myself to get caught up into that. I was just always about doing the work, and I had to grow to a place where I was doing it for enjoyment, like how I am now. I'm actually enjoying it. I've always enjoyed it, but I was always allowing it to stress me too. And now, like I'm producing a movie now, comedy movie, Sheeted Player. I'm not stressed at all. I am. I'm really, really just enjoying the process now. I feel real good that this movie is going to be funny, like really funny, and that's the goal. And I believe that if we accomplish that, and the story is moving from the beginning to the end, uh, in such a way that people really appreciate the story and enjoy it, then that would mean that I wrote it well, and I directed it well, and I cast it well, and the actors that have done their things. And now I have a really good DP. I have a really good AD, and met several other guys in the cast are so excellent at helping in areas that normally would take another crew person to do it, but they step in and multitask like that. And I'm really feeling very, very comfortable and relaxed in a way that I have not um, before. And, you know, I'm so thankful about the support system that I have and that I've built with uh, people in the community who know me personally, have known me over the years, and supported me. Just like with the GoFundMe, it's something that I was like, man, I don't feel, I've never been comfortable asking anybody for money. But this was a situation where I needed. And so um, I was encouraged by a good friend to go for it, to just do it. And I did it. And now, um, uh, people are giving to the GoFundMe. Just today, somebody anonymously gave $100. People don't do stuff like that if they don't see you, and if they don't believe you, if they don't believe in you in terms of what you say you represent. And I'm just so thankful for that, that I have people that think that much of me, you know. And we got a long ways to go with that. But when I look at what my week has been like, uh, I got to call this guy named Corey Williams, a guy that I never really got to know personally. I don't think I even been around him, but maybe once or twice. I don't even remember. But this guy spent his own money to go to TV 20 to get them to do a press release on me. He tried his best to get them to do an interview with me, but uh, they did not contact me. That's okay. The Gainesville Guardian contacted me, wrote a nice story on me, and covered a lot of details as far as what I've done over the years. And then, like I said, to have Miss Nkwanda Ja to think enough of me to give me this, man. I wish y'all could feel it, man. It is so heavy. I get nervous picking it up because if I drop that and break that, my heart gonna break too, you know. But I had to do this week. I had to talk about this, man, and I wanted to just try to explain why that means so much to me, because an award is like this is a representation of your accomplishments. And accomplishments, there's no magic wand for this type of thing. There just isn't. You know, you have to actually put the effort into it, and you have to be consistent. And I have done that. I have done it, and I am still doing it. And man, I am so thankful. I am so thankful. So Yeah, I've been on the cloud for the last couple of weeks, and um, and now it's the celebration has happened, and I'll probably every day I'll probably celebrate that because that's going to give me some inspiration and some motivation additionally, and who knows what's down the road. But one thing I can assure you is that I am going to continue to do the work. Now, this Saturday, um, me and the crew, we're going to be filming. Going to be our second shoot, and y'all see this right here. This is just an old pizza brochure. Somebody might just be cool enough to make a donation to help us buy about 5 or 6 of these. This is a Domino's pizza. I'm not trying to advertise for them, but this is one of their flyers, and it's like $10.99 each when you mix and you match. How about somebody go to my GoFundMe? Go to GoFundMe.com. Put my name in, or either put Sheeta Player in. You will see our GoFundMe page pop up. And how about donate enough to buy one of these pizzas for us? Okay. How about do that? Every little bit equals a whole lot, and we're so grateful for that. You can donate anonymously or not. If you would like, I'm gonna hold this up for about 10 seconds. That's the QR code. You put scan this QR code with your phone. I got 3 different devices here, so I'm gonna go to each device. Scan this QR code with your phone here. It'll take you straight to our GoFundMe page. Hold it up here for about 10 seconds here. So when you go back to your social media page, on my page rather, and view this again, if you're looking at this live on your phone right now, you can go back later and scan this QR code, and it'll take you straight to our GoFundMe page. And you can donate any amount. One thing I feel real good about is all of the shows that I have done. I've never done one show where I got booed or people said negative things. And I've done some shows where people were raving, and I knew all the different mistakes we made and how we didn't do what we were supposed to do on that stage or whatever. And people were still raving. In fact, my last play, Meatloaf for Dinner, I'll be totally honest, I was 50-50 with that, because I did a lot of directing that did not show on the stage, and I wasn't very happy about it. But everybody on the stage was talented, but sometimes you have some people that drop the ball, and sometimes you have people that decide they're gonna do what they want to do in spite of. And I'm just so meticulous and so calculated and strategic, that those kind of things they impact me. But even with that, the audience was just raving and gave us a standing ovation and all of this right here. You know, I've just not, I haven't had a show where anybody was not happy. And I think about that and I say, Barry, don't ever take that for granted because everybody get a bad show. So here I am producing this new comedy movie, and those kind of thoughts pop in my head. I'm like, man, what if this be the one, Barry, that they just don't like it? And that's the fuel right there. That's fuel for me. No, y'all gonna like it. You're going to really, really enjoy it. It's gonna make you laugh from the beginning all the way to the end. Some parts it's going to be super, super funny, and some parts it's just going to be funny, but it's going to be very, very comical and humorous the whole way. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And I just want to thank everybody who has helped us with donations right now. I think we've raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500, $1,600. I don't really know right now. Some people have given me cash, and so all of that money goes into the same business account, and uh, we're just so grateful for everybody that thinks enough to donate something to support us. And so I really wanted to talk about all of that because so many people are happy for me. So many people are happy for me. You know, so many people have text me and call me and inbox me and say, Barry, well deserved, da da da. And, there's a lot that goes into being in a position to receive an award like this. And that's what I wanted to bring home in this conversation today, that, there's a lot that went in. Yeah, I wanted to quit sometimes, a few times I tried, but, you know, I think, when something is just in you, it's just in you. And so I'm still walking in it. Once again, in Kwanda John, thank you all, the Cultural Arts Coalition. Thank you, Corey, for doing all you did with TV 20. I appreciate Cleve Tinker, the editor of the Gainesville Guardian, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I see Monique Wilkes, who has been a very, very strong supporter and a dear friend. I appreciate you to the moon and back, Monique. Uh, I got my good friend Rose touching in with me over here. I see old Kevin Mack, who was a very awesome playwright and actor himself. Still hoping one day me and Kevin get a chance to grace the stage together and do something. I've admired him for a long time, and I think he's a really cool guy. Uh, but anyway, y'all, that's all I got for today. I just needed to get that out. Once again, Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, truly the right kind of different. This is my award explained. Y'all have a blessed evening.